It's time for your favorite game show, Challenge the Clergy.
Welcome to Challenge the Clergy, the game show where there are no right answers, only opinions, because that's Judaism. I'm your host, Seth Front. Today's first question comes from a viewer in Coral Gables, Florida, who writes, who is your favorite lesser-known figure in the Torah? And today, let's start with Rabbi Hannah Estrin.
Wow, Seth, that is a great question. Thank you from Florida. My favorite lesser-known person in Torah. I have to go with Devorah, the prophetess Devorah. And I think for a couple of different reasons. A, it's a woman. So, that's a good start as a woman myself, at least last time I checked. But she is known as this prophetess, as this person who hands down law, but not as a law person. She hands down law which is softened and made human through her integration of looking at the person in front of her and how important it is to look at the person in front of her. And she's also somebody who's going to push you, but also get up and walk with you. Specifically in the case of Barak, when he's going out to fight with Sisera, she says to Barak, God is with you, go into this battle. And Barak's like, I'll only go with you. And since she can't get him to go by himself, she gets up, she gives him a little tochacha and says, that's fine, but I'm going to get the credit, just so you know. The woman behind the man always gets the credit. So, and one last piece about Devorah, it happens to be the first Haftorah portion that I ever read. So I'm going with Devorah. What do you guys think?
Cantor Jackie Raffi.
Well, speaking of strong women, Rabbi Hannah, I was choosing between a couple of lesser-known figures in the Bible and this book that Rabbi Cameron recommended to me. It's a great book, Reading the Women of the Bible. And I just wanted to give a shout out. I couldn't pick one, but two. They're related to Shifra and Puah, the Hebrew midwives who saved all those Israelite boys that Pharaoh commanded must be killed. He directed Shifra and Puah, who were the midwives for the Hebrew women, to kill all the Hebrew boys that were born. And Shifra and Puah were like, I don't think so. They didn't do that. And when Pharaoh confronted them and said, what's going on? They were very strategic, and they played into Pharaoh's narcissism and fear. And they said, well, these Israelite women are like animals, or their children are like animals, and it's hard to, we can't control them. Basically feeding into Pharaoh, already thinking of the Israelites as the other and being kind of scared of them. And the Torah says that these women did not obey Pharaoh's orders because they feared God. And I read into that these women were so strong, they didn't fear Pharaoh. They did not fear Pharaoh, and they did not fear the consequences. So they acted morally, they acted with justice, and they ensured the survival of our people. So Shifra Puah, power to you.
Rabbi, are you going with a woman or are you going with a man?
Well,
A lot of pressure.
No pressure.
I'm starting to feel a little guilty that I did. I'm going with a guy by the name of Moshe Rabbeinu. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of him. He's a very lesser-known character in Parshat Tetzaveh. No, that's not who I'm going for. And please let me know if you knew my reference to Parshat Tetzaveh and Moshe as a lesser-known character. I am actually going to choose Ish Midotan.
Who is
the man from Dotan. And there is almost nothing in the Torah about him, except towards the end of the story of Genesis, in Genesis 37, when Jacob sends Joseph to check on his brothers, and Joseph has no idea where they're shepherding. He happens along the way to meet a man from Dotan. And that man plays the crucial role between connecting Joseph to his brothers. Without that man, there would be no story of Joseph being sold into slavery. There would be no Israelites going down to Egypt. there would be no Exodus from Egypt. There would be no Moshe. There would be no Torah without that man who appears in a moment and disappears. In fact, he's so insignificant that he doesn't even have a name. Ish, a man. And yet, according to our commentaries, he was an angel. He was an angel sent by God. But this is the beautiful part of the Midrash that I like. He didn't know his role, and Joseph didn't know his role. And it reminds me very much that each one of us can be, and probably have been many times in our lives, that ish midotan for somebody else. That we have played a significant role in helping somebody without even realizing it. That we could be the catalyst to what happens in somebody's life in such a profound way and not even know it. What an important role to be the ish midotan. And that is why I love him as my favorite minor character, because I hope that I have been like him, and I hope that all of you also have been like him in moments of your life.
Well, I think you've all given the viewers a lot to think about and to go back into the Torah and look at some of those lesser figures. So good answers. All right, so let's get to question 2. This question is from Palmdale, California. In honor of Shavuot, which is coming up shortly, what's your favorite dairy dessert? Who wants to take this one? We'll just throw it up. And Jackie, I know you're going with chocolate. Hannah, go ahead.
Because I want to get to chocolate before Cantor Rafi gets to chocolate.
Well, how do you know me so well?
Oh,
it's not like I eat chocolate every time we're on a call.
Every once in a while, your camera drops down and we see what's actually. No. So I am going to say chocolate, but chocolate cheesecake. Because Shavuot, you have to have cheese, right? And I make this chocolate coffee cheesecake once a year on Shavuot because I'm still digesting it the entire year until the following Shavuot. It's as heavy as a rock. The chocolate coffee cheesecake.
Great. I'm going to text you my address. You can just leave it on our doorstep. Thanks.
Will do.
Okay.
There you go. Jackie, let's just keep going in the same order that we did before.
Sure. Well, I'm going to throw a curveball, and I'm not going to mention chocolate. Yeah. And I'm going to mention this Persian dessert. It's called pirashki. And it is basically a bread.
Crazy. That's my favorite dessert as well. I cannot believe you took mine.
You can't both pick the same dessert.
Oh my God. It's exactly what I was going to say.
So why don't you describe what it is, Rabbi Cameron?
Yeah. Well, I don't want to take away the pleasure of you describing what is so tasty to you. So I'm going to turn it back to you.
No, I insist. No.
That would also be, no.
It's probably got rose water because so many Persian desserts have rose water. And it's probably got some kind of nut, maybe a pistachio attached to it, maybe some almond. There's, of course, some sugar. How am I doing so far?
You are doing a great job of describing general Persian desserts, but not this one.
Oh, okay.
But great guess. So it's basically fried bread. It's like a round piece of fried bread with custard on the inside. And it's just oozing with flavor and sweetness and oil. And it is so good. Pirashki.
How do you pronounce it?
Pirashki.
Pirashki.
Pirashki, if I were to put it in like English transliteration. Pirashki.
Okay, so I'll send you my address and you can
Okay.
And Rabbi Cameras.
Yeah, you might as well just turn off the video now.
You have about 1 minute. Go ahead.
Because it's kind of pathetic, to be honest. You know, I don't eat dairy anymore. So, and I never was really an ice cream fan. I didn't like it very much. However, I have acquired a taste for so delicious frozen mint chocolate chip coconut ice cream. That I think is absolutely delicious. And if I had to go to a dairy dessert or a non-dairy, dairy-like dessert for Shavuot, that would be my go-to. And I will be happy to get your addresses and send it to all three of you.
What am I, chopped liver here? What about me?
I said all three of you.
Okay, all three of you. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. All right.
But if you're chopped liver, you can even actually eat this dessert because it's part of.
Oh, nice.
There you go. Very good. Well, that's all the time we have for today. If you have a question, feel free to send it to info@stsonline.org. We'll see you next time on Challenge the Clergy. Good night.